Hello, this is Maiku with Starseeds Tarot and Readings, and today we'll be doing a love and relationship reading. And so, what I do want to ask you to do is when you are tuning into the pile or you're tuning into your reading, to call upon the energy of the moon. At the time of this reading, I'm hoping to put this out by the end of the day. We literally have just experienced the lunar eclipse and also with full moon. And so yesterday night was the full moon, the first full moon of the year as well as the decade. And so I want you to channel that energy in any situation when there is a full moon. The full moon energy is very high, and so it's always useful to use that energy to either cleanse your crystals or to charge any intentions that you have with that full moon energy. And so for this reading, I highly encourage you to channel that energy. What I also have here is my Moonology Oracle deck. It's perfect for this time. And so as with any other readings that I've had in the past, I do want you to call upon, in addition to calling on the energy of the full moon, call upon anything that is there to assist you, basically your soul or your spirit team, to assist you in delivering a message that will help guide you towards the path that is intended for you or the path that is most serving to you. And so again, this is a love and relationship reading, and it's going to be very generalized, so I want you to be open in accepting any messages that are coming to you. Do not be tied down to any results or any messages, especially with love and relationships. What I find too is that for those seeking guidance in love and relationship, they want immediate answers as well as exact answers, almost as if they want to know what is there for them in the future. And so the advice that I like to share with people is when you go into a reading open-hearted, you'll find that the messages that you were not expecting to hear are actually the ones that are going to help you through your challenges and your hardships, especially in love and relationship. Whether you are entering one, you are in one, or you are exiting one, be open to the messages that you are going to be receiving. I also like to provide messages in readings as a way for you to make connections between the message as well as your own circumstances. Now, oftentimes, tarot readings are done by readers who, depending on their level of connectedness, can be very, 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 the way that they connect to the messages are very clear and concrete. And for me, I also want to be as open as possible from a place of neutrality. And so some of these messages, and something that I've been working on, is to be more open to what messages are relaying to me so that I can relay them to you, and not being tied down to a specific answer, a specific time, or anything specific in our material world. And so a lot of these messages are meant to help you reflect, be introspective, and also be open to anything that is coming your way. All right? And so that is the only other thing that I have to deliver to you at this very moment. And so again, I have my Moonology Oracle cards for you to pick your pile from. I do encourage you to, again, call upon your spirit or soul team to assist you in delivering a message. And so for today, I'll be doing 6 piles, and up here on the upper right, or upper left, is 1. This is pile number 2. This is pile number 3, pile number 4 over here, pile number 5, and pile number 6. And so if you need a moment to meditate on the pile, please do so. You can also pause. And if this is your first time doing a pick a card reading, or this is your first time coming to my channel, you can pick your pile and then go down below to either the description box or one of the first comments pinned that I'll be pinning with a clickable link to that timestamp that's connected to the pile that you selected. All right, so you can pause at the moment and pick your pile, and then we will go on into the first reading. Okay, so I'm just gonna transition. Something that I'm also going to start doing is trying not to pause the video so much. This is because on the editing level, it takes me longer to edit or even upload. So I'm gonna try and just do everything all in one video, no edits. All right, so this is the reading for pile number 1, and your Moonology Oracle card is you're very close to achieving your goal, gibbous moon. All right, and so this is your card. This will take a few seconds to kind of channel that energy, and then what I'm going to do is use my tarot cards to do your reading. Okay. Okay, that's the first card that came out. There are these cards. All right. So again, this is a love and relationship reading, and it looks like I'm kind of getting the feeling that you're also in a time where you're either ready to move on, right, with this card, the movement card, either moving on from a relationship or moving on with that person. So again, this is a generalized reading, and it could go one of two ways, right? For those who are who selected pile number 1 and you're exiting a relationship, you're ready to move on, or you are at a point where you and your partner, it's the both of you are ready to take on this new challenge together. And so I kind of feel like this is a partnership reading. Strongly, I feel more strongly that this is a partnership reading where again, with the energy of the gibbous moon, you're very close to achieving your goal. So the gibbous moon is the phase of the moon where you are, where it's about to become a full moon, right? You're like about to be 100% illuminated. You're about to get to that point where you can fully shine. And so you can also see here, it's almost like if you put all of these together, it almost seems like the queen is leading her whole tribe, her whole family, everybody who is a part of her team or her family or her soul family. She is prepared to go to lead them into this new obstacle, or not necessarily an obstacle, but this new phase of her life. So whatever she is dealing with, she's going to bring her whole family with her, whether they like it or not. And so you can even see here, Ace of Pentacles, it's a new beginning card. And this one's, for me, Pentacles represents finances. Pentacles represents finances and abundance. And so with the Ace of Pentacles, the Ace being the first of the suit, of any suit, it signifies the beginning of a cycle. And with the Prince of Staves, this person, it could be your partner, it could be, it could even be like, I'm getting, it could be a partner, but I'm getting more so of like, a child, and the both of you bringing your child with you on this new journey, and having them see you grow as an independent woman, or your partner growing with you. And so even here with this, with Rhiannon, the goddess, I believe it's the goddess, she was a huntress, I believe. But she's at the tail end of this kind of like parade, right? She's at the tail end of this parade, and she's tying up loose ends. Everything. It's almost, I'm kind of even getting the idea or the image of, you have this caravan. There's this caravan, and you're packing everything with you. You pack everything with you, and you're just going, right? Like nomadic travelers. They carry everything with them. They settle for a few days, and then they move on again. And so that's kind of what I'm getting to. And it seems like you've been on this journey for a very, very long time. Seems like you've been on this journey for a very, very long time with the people who are closest to you, right? Your family or your significant other, and you or your significant other's children. You've been on this journey for a very long time, and you're arriving at a point where things are going to start paying off. Things are going to start paying off for the both of you. I'm also getting the energy that this male figure is younger, and so hence the either child or the partner who is significantly younger than you. Again, just because the one card that came up first is the Queen of Swords. The Queen having more power than the Prince in some monarchies, right? Where she's taking the whole family with her into this new phase, right? Even with this card at the very end, the movement card, Rhiannon, right? I'm also getting a lot of motherly energy, especially with the Pentacles, and also the Rhiannon card, Earth energies coming up. Yeah, where you're just tying up loose ends. With Earth energy, also creativity as well. Yeah, even the Queen of Swords, right? The deck of swords is about strategy and also justice. And I'm also getting the energy of like physical brute force, right? Pure physical energy, having power, right? Someone who has that presence. So you could be someone who has that presence, and when you enter a room, everybody knows like, oh, this person means something. And so even with this Queen of Swords energy, you're somebody who can take charge and is able to hold your ground, and also someone who is able to command, and so in this particular phase of your journey, it's that phase where you're about to enter this new level of evolution, right? You're evolving to this next level, and you're going to be able to carry your whole team with you. You're the one who carries your team. Okay. So pile number 1, this is your reading. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I will see you in the next video. Alright, so I will set this aside now. And the next pile is pile number 2. Alright, your commitment is being tested. It's the first card that has come out. First quarter moon. Okay. First quarter moon, your commitment is being tested. Alright, so right away, it almost seems like you're either having cold feet about something, about a particular relationship or a person, and you're having cold feet. You're having cold feet and you don't know whether you want to be with this person or not. It doesn't necessarily mean like you have two people that you're questioning. It could also just mean that it could be the equivalent of like going into a commitment with someone and you're getting cold feet, right? Like a marriage or a wedding, you're having cold feet. Let's see. Yeah, some of the messages that I'm kind of getting off of the booklet is what you believe to be true is true for you. So believe in yourself, right? Like believe in what is going to serve you. This is not anything where somebody can tell you what to do. This all comes down to what do you want from this? What do you want from this? Why are you still in this, right? Writing down everything that you feel resonates with you within this relationship, and making your decisions based on that. It is no longer about what your mother says. It's no longer about what your sister says. It's no longer about what your brother or your closest friend says. How does it serve you, right? And so, interestingly enough, I come across this quite a bit, and also some of the readings that I've done as, in the end, like how does this relationship serve you? Anybody can tell you to leave or stay, but it all comes down to what situation you want to put yourself in, right? And I don't mean that in any way of like toxic relationships. I mean that by way of like relationships that do not encompass like extreme toxicity and abuse, right? I'm talking about relationships where a simple decision can completely alter how you are going to commit to that relationship, right? And so other things coming from the book too is you're halfway to your goal, right? You're halfway to your goal. And again, this is also about the almost arriving to your goal and the energy, the first quarter of the moon, right? The first quarter of the moon that is illuminated before it becomes a full moon. And so how much more do you want to put into this, right? How much more do you need to put into this to get to the result that you need, that is going to serve you, right? So I'm gonna put that aside, and then I'm gonna do your tarot cards. these first, so this one popped up second. Alright, see? You're being tested. This was the first card that popped out. It's a Seven of Swords, and you can see she's trying to carry all her swords at once. You're trying to juggle everything that you're dealing with all at once. And these challenges are kind of bringing you to the brink of like you want to quit. And so as the universe does what the universe does, it sets up all these challenges for you to test you, like, okay, how much in it are you, right? How much in the relationship are you? How much commitment is in it to for you, right? How much of your commitment is invested into these challenges, right? How are you gonna allow these challenges to break you, right? Because you're probably somebody who has tapped out every time something gets hard. You have tapped out every time something gets hard, and you never see a situation to the very end. You never see it to the point of it being successful, and you've never seen it to the point of it failing. Because again, you've probably been in many situations where you were afraid of failure, and so as soon as you start seeing signs of like challenges or obstacles, you take it as like a red flag, and your survival mode kicks in and tells you to get out. Okay, and so Seven of Swords, even in this suit, right? In a suit of cards, there's 10 cards. There's 10 cards, right? From Ace to 10, there's 10 cards. And so, you know, 7 being like almost a little bit over halfway there. And so, this energy of the cards, or what I'm getting from the cards, is that it's okay. It's okay what you're dealing with. It doesn't mean that it's gonna be bad. It's not gonna mean that it's gonna be the end of, you know, everything for you. Even if it fails, it's okay. And obviously, even if it succeeds, like, know that after you have come around from that victory or that success, that obstacles and challenges are always going to be there waiting for you. Not to say it in a way where you have to fear those obstacles and challenges, but those obstacles and challenges are going to be there to teach you a lesson to better you, right? Hence, that's why you're being tested. You're being tested to know, like, okay, how much grit do you have to be able to persevere through these challenges? Your lesson in this is about perseverance, because you've never had it in the past. And now what's coming up, because you've been putting it aside, what's coming up is tests on commitment and perseverance. How much can you persevere, right? Even if it's a breakup that you're trying to get out of, if you've recently just broken up with someone, you're being tested on how you're going to stay your ground and not go back to that person, right? It could also be seen as that. Because again, in the past, it was too hard for you. Now, this is another way of looking at this reading. In the past, what you've done is because it's been too hard to deal with these emotions, that you just go back to this person who treats you, who almost neglects you. I don't want to say treats you badly, but neglect, right? And so you're having to handle your own emotions, and you're so used to chasing after that instant, or that, you know, instant gratification of being happy. You're so used to that, chasing like that split second of happiness with that person, that it's so hard for you to deal with your own emotions and the harshness of reality of being without someone, that because you're afraid of being without someone and also confronting your emotions, that in the past you've always run back to that person, right? You've always run back to that person. And so now You're also being tested on, okay, no, if you're breaking up with them, you have to do what you say, because you have to remember how those circumstances led you to leaving that situation anyways, right? Leaving that situation anyways. And so you're entering a period of your commitment to yourself that you're being tested. You're being tested on how much do you love yourself? How much are you, do you really want to live peacefully with your own emotions, right? And dealing with them, right? You're juggling all of that. You're juggling all of those emotions right now. So again, that's just one way of looking at how this reading is being connected to you. You could also be someone who is being tested in your relationship as well, right? But if you are so sure of, you know, how your relationship is going with this person, that, you know, the commitment the commitment being tested in that relationship is not so much of your loyalty to that person, but how much are you willing to be committed in this relationship to work through the hardships too, right? So that's the first card of your tarot. The next one is wisdom. Wisdom. And this is Sarasvati. And so with wisdom, right, as I was saying earlier, and just connecting to some of the points that I made earlier about the challenges and persevering through these challenges, it only teaches you to become wiser about future relationships, right? It only teaches you how to become wiser about your circumstances. It teaches you to be wiser about the relationships that you go into, right? How you can better navigate complex emotions and communicating with your future significant other. And so something that's really coming up strongly, and I do feel like this reading is intended for those who are exiting relationships, is that, you know, it's gonna be that you're being tested on how you're going to persevere through this hardship. And what the card is coming up is that, with the wisdom card, is that you may have never dealt with this much deep emotion in terms of breaking up with someone, because you feel like you've invested so much into this relationship that having to confront these emotions that you're dealing with is very, very hard. It's very hard, and it's not easy. Anyone who has been in long-term relationships that suddenly break off, it's hard. It's hard. And so now is the time for you to learn more about that relationship with yourself. And so your perseverance is being tested on how much you're committed to yourself, right? How much you want to own your own peace, and you're having to juggle all of that. And once you overcome this period of no longer being in this relationship, you're only going to become a wiser person, right? You're only going to become a wiser person. No one, I would say, rarely anyone remembers lessons that they are taught in victories and successes. What happens is that when we do come out of situations victoriously and successfully, there is usually we don't remember, right? We don't remember. We just know like it was a very happy moment, unless it becomes a stringed out event. We remember what led us to these successes, but you know, and these instant gratifying like situations, we don't really remember what lessons were being taught, right? The lesson in it is the lesson in the successes and victories is that we can come out of it, right? Like we have worth. That's the lesson. We're taught time and time again with these victories and successes that we have worth, right? Like we're not crazy. Like I am human. I am somebody who can feel these positive emotions and this positive and these positive events. But you know, we also have to value these challenges and these failures too to teach us to become wiser, right? Um, you know, once we pick our fingers with the needle, we learn that the needle is sharp. We learn that the needle is pointy, and so what do? We begin to avoid the tip of the needle. And so these successes and failures and even traumas teach us to become wiser. It teaches us to learn about the mistakes so that we can navigate it better. We can navigate our own emotions and we can navigate the situations better and not continue to put ourselves in situations where we're going to be hurt. Um, Now, there is a difference between being able to navigate those hardships and also trying to avoid them. Because if we continue to avoid being hurt and we continue to avoid all this messy stuff, we never learn how to navigate it. We just learn how to remove ourselves from the situations. And in a way, we become fearful of the traumas and the hurt. And we become ignorant of people's emotions, become ignorant of even our emotions. We start burying our own emotions. And so, failures, challenges, once you overcome the challenges of dealing with your own emotions and the hardships you're dealing with right now, you only become wiser. And that is a huge reward that no one can ever give you. No one can ever give you that. Okay, so I'm going to open up these last two cards. Transformation. Only teaches you to become wiser, right? Even that transition from not knowing to knowing is a form of transformation. Teaches you to become wiser. You become wiser, you know how to value yourself more, you know how to navigate situations better. I don't want to say quality, but the quality of people is going to match your vibration, right? It's going to be someone who you can sync with, and you're just going to become more content. Now, that doesn't go without saying that you're going to come across challenges too, but the whole idea of overcoming these challenges teaches you to become wiser, teaches you how to communicate better, teaches you how to strengthen those relationships, as well as obtain a better quality of life, I think is what I meant by quality of people. Higher quality of living, right? So that's the third card. And the last one, Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles is in the middle of your journey, right? And this is the potential of what you can experience after this hardship, right? Again, for me, it's about Six of Pentacles is also about finances, but Pentacles is also a symbol for me of abundance, right? Abundance of love. Pentacles is also related to Earth energy, and Earth energy is about Mother Earth. Earth energy is about unconditional love for those who are around you and for those who you don't necessarily you're not necessarily around all the time. It's about that unconditional love and that unconditional giving, and in a way giving that unconditional love to others without judgment and without any expectation for reciprocity. How the universe works is that it comes back to you tenfold. And so you can see here this figure in the middle. She's obviously more she's dressed in jewels, and in a way she's also giving these pentacles away, a charitable act, not necessarily in terms of money, but in kindness, and compassion. And you can see these women are supporting her too. What she can offer is being present and being kind. You're probably someone who has an abundance of kindness. You're always empathetic to others. You always make it a thing to treat others kindly. And even with the Six of Pentacles, it's like an even number of coins. It's an even number of coins. It's being balanced. You also have two women on her sides, on either one of her sides, and knowing that you're being divinely supported. You might even have two individuals, two best friends who support you no matter what, and they're there to remind you that no matter the decisions that you make, they're always going to support you. They see you in the light that you're unable to see yourself in, right? While you're sitting in your own thoughts, you may feel like, man, why can't I be like so and so, or why am I such a pathetic person, or why can't I do things right? There's other people too who see you in the light that you don't see yourself in. They see you as a genuine person, and to remember that, you also owe it to yourself to give yourself that worth, that self-worth and self-love. Okay, so what I am seeing in the cards is that really this is a reading about self-love, right? That relationship with yourself, overcoming these hard emotions or these complex emotions that you're dealing with, and being okay with that. Because in the end, what's most important is how you value yourself and how you treat others. And if that's not what is in your path right now, or you're not able to see that, know that you have to work on it actively. In order for you to see that, as well as for you to overcome what you are dealing with right now. Okay? So pile number 2, this is your reading. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you in the next video. Okay, so we're going into the next pile. And the next pile is number 3. And you are new moon in Capricorn. Your hard work is paying off. Okay. Hard work is paying off. Right away I'm sensing that. Ooh. I am sensing that. This is the first card that flipped out for you, by the way. 2019 was very hard for you. 2019, you were unable to see the end of the light at the end of the tunnel. Right, oh, you got 2 kings coming out. So, first card that flipped up in that deck that just came in was this. Balancing. You have 2 people who you are on the fence about. So you can see she is balancing 2 pentacles. She's balancing 2 pentacles. There could be these 2 kings over here. Oh, the 6 of Pentacles. You're going to them you're going to your friends to consult. What should you do? And Princess of Swords. Hard work is paying off, huh? Work. One thing that I think I'm gonna ask right away is, again, what do you want from this juggling of the two relationships, right? Let's see here. Let me look into New Moon and Capricorn. All right. You need to be more disciplined to reach your goal. Discipline. Don't be too controlling and avoid anyone who is controlling. Avoid anyone who is controlling. Those are some of the meanings behind that card. Hard work will make your dreams a reality. So what is it that you want from this relationship, right? What is it? Or it could even be like this person is also, there's someone who is preventing you from getting into this relationship with this other person. Not only am I seeing a juggling of either two relationships, it doesn't necessarily have to be, you know, a romance. It could be a relationship with your family as well as a relationship with this person that you want to be in. Let's see. And every time a swords comes out, it's about strategy, knowing what is right, for you. Only you know what is right for you. Okay. The princess itself is about decision making. You're still learning. You're learning to balance out what will work for you. Like, what is it that you really want? You're really stuck too. I'm kind of feeling like there's a huge blockage. And I'm sensing like that blockage could just be your own conscience. Okay. Other meanings connected to this one is a new start. You're either unhappy with your current relationship and you're thinking about what else is out there. So that juggling could be that your relationship has become stagnant. You have everything that you need at this current moment, but you're just feeling very stagnant. I kind of am feeling like that's the blockage, right? You're like, I have everything, I have a good job, this relationship is, good, but what else is there? Like you're seeking some type of challenge. You're seeking some type of a challenge. And there's something that's alluring you. Something in the past few months that is drawing you away from your current situation. It's making you wonder what else is good for you and what else is out there. You're willing to make that sacrifice. You're either willing to make that sacrifice or you're willing to explore new things. Some things that are also coming up with this oracle card is you have to think about where you want to be in the next 12 months or 5 years, right? That long term. Like, again, you're feeling stagnant and you're juggling like these two ideas. you are stuck between these two. It could even be that you've initiated something with this one. You've initiated something with this one. There's something about this person over here that is luring you away. In addition to this card too, it's about being ambitious. What is it that you want to achieve, right, in this relationship? And it confirms that with this card as well, right? You're ready to go on to the wilderness, basically, with nothing but a sword in your hand to see how you're gonna survive the situation. That means like you're starting to you're wanting to start a new journey. You're willing to go into the unknown because you're at a point where you're feeling so stagnant. You're feeling stagnant and you're wanting change. The only way that I can see you taking back from this reading is that you have to realize, what do you need? What do you need? Why is it that you're feeling stagnant? Why is it that this relationship you feel is no longer serving you? What is it that is missing? Evaluate what is it that is missing. Okay. I'm also getting the energy from this new moon is that things are closing up, right? Because in terms of a new moon, it's about the transition from the full moon into a new moon. A new moon where it's not illuminated, where it's the dark moon. The new moon is also a period for me anyways to do some reflection, introspection and reflection. Think about all these feelings that you're feeling that aren't helping you move forward. Yeah. So this is something that I necessarily can't provide you in this reading, but it's something that you would have to discover yourself. You have it in you to discover what is it that you need. What is it that you need to address some of that stagnancy that you're dealing with. So pile number 3, I think this is all that I have for you. Be brave into exploring what is it that you need. Be brave about it. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself about what you want. If this relationship is too stagnant and you're like, oh, you're no longer that person, or you're no longer feeling connected to this person, be real with yourself. If the life that you thought you wanted 5 years ago is not matching up to how you are feeling at the very moment, it doesn't have to be that way. Be brave to learn what you want, right? Be brave. This is what I'm also getting with the Princess Swords card too. Be brave. Do things with reason. Go in brave, courageous, and at the same time, look inwards. New moon energy. Look inwards to see what is it that you want. What is it that you don't want? Okay. Evaluate why this other person why you're so drawn to this other person. What is it that they have that this person doesn't have, and why you're so drawn to them? You don't necessarily have to pursue it, but if you choose to, you have to be brave enough to deal with it. You have to be brave enough to deal with the reasons why you were feeling stagnant in this relationship anyways. Okay. All right. So, pile number 3. This is your reading. I hope this resonated with you, and thank you so much for tuning in. Okay. All right. And we will go on to the next reading, and this is for pile number 4. This is Don't Let Your Past Hold You Back, South Node. Alright. It's pretty straightforward. Don't be afraid of how things have hurt you. I'm also sensing the energy of being brave. Whoever it is that hurt you, don't let that hurt prevent you from experiencing the good things in life, from pursuing things with certain people. Alright. I'm going to open up your tarot, or do your tarot now. Alright, that one wants to come out. I'm going to try and do one more card. Okay, so again, with the energy of the Oracle card, it's telling you don't let the past hold you back. And to elaborate more about that energy, don't let what you've experienced in the past scare you out of pursuing what you feel is right for you, right? Intuitively. Could it be that you keep holding up in this relationship, or this kind of like on and off relationship with someone, and you're afraid to commit to them? Could it be that you have been hurt by so many people that you're just kind of okay with like these with dating? You've become comfortable with dating, meeting new people, which isn't a bad thing. But if you are seeking to commit with someone, reevaluate that, right? Reevaluate how you're meeting these new people, how you're presenting yourself, how they're presenting themselves, and by way of how you are meeting them, right? Reevaluating that. Trying to correct what was in your past is also a form of how the past is also holding you back. You're reacting to things based on your experiences, right? How somebody has hurt you, how somebody has loved you, what you want from that. You're trying to recreate that past. And so when you're trying to recreate that past, or what was good about the past, it's a form of how the past is holding you back. That doesn't go without saying that, the things that we endure are there to teach us to be wiser, but it's okay to take those experiences, learn from them, and then move on. to not ruminate. That's kind of the message that I'm getting out of from this card too. Don't ruminate. Okay. I'm going to read some from the book, South Node. South Node. What is the South? Oh, here we go. Alright. I release the past. Oh, this is also about karma, karmic debt. A relationship is karmic and has played out across many lifetimes. You're attracted to someone, maybe verging on obsessive. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. Okay. Whatever you're going through, whatever you're asking about, there's a chance that age-old programming and conditioning is stopping you from achieving all that you might. Do you feel stuck in something? This card will often come as a sign that the situation or relationship you're asking about has somehow become suffocating, even toxic. It suggests that someone you even needs to be released, that there's some kind of addiction going on or an unhealthy attachment that needs to be sorted out. One thing is for sure, when you get this card, you're being challenged to make changes, even if staying where you are feels easier and safe, right? That's what I was saying about making decisions based on how good relationships are or how bad they are. That's still a form of being stuck in the past, right? Like trying to recreate those good emotions without trying to recreate the good and the bad, or trying to recreate the good and trying to avoid the bad is still a form of being stuck in the past. What this card is also asking from you is that you should be grounded, be present, stay in the moment, allow things to happen organically. Try not to be so controlling about the situation. If it is like what the book says about the card, about being obsessive about someone or wanting things to happen with someone, that it's just not working, then you should let go of that, right? Why is it that you're holding this person responsible for the things that people have done to you in the past, right? Good and bad. There is, and I totally believe in self-worth and what people, how people, meeting people who will treat you with fairness and compassion. But at the same time, you shouldn't hold those people accountable for how these people have wronged you in the past. It's like going into a relationship or going into, dating someone, and you want this new person in your life to treat you a certain way, right? To treat you a certain way. An example is you're going to this relationship and you're like, oh, I never got chocolates from my ex, and I want this new person to buy me chocolates. So I'm going to tell him to get me chocolates every Valentine's Day, right? Like, how does that sound like, right? Like, why even the chocolates? You have to reevaluate the decisions that you are making now with this new person. Is it because of a reaction from this past, right? That's still you being tied down to that past and not allowing things to happen organically. By you doing that, you're not valuing that person as well. You're not valuing that person and what they have to offer as well. Maybe this person doesn't even care for chocolates, but is all about taking you out to fancy dinners. And you're preventing that from happening because you're telling them, no, I prefer it if you just buy me chocolates for Valentine's Day like everybody else. But what he actually has in mind is a luxurious, Valentine's Day dinner at a fancy restaurant, and then a special night at a spa, What if it's that, and then all you're asking for is chocolates, and he's like, okay, well, if that's all she wants, then that's all I'm gonna get her. right? That's an example of that. So, do you want things to happen organically, or do you want to force that onto somebody? Is basically what I'm saying. Is basically how I'm interpreting this, right? So, anyways, enough talking. I'm gonna go into the tarot cards and see what they say. Yep, Five of Swords. You're defeated by the past. Look, you are also looking into the past, and you're saying, "Dang, all I have left are my tools." Right? Like you're at the hump. You're at the point of like, it's at the end of the battle, and everything's like quiet. Right? It's the quiet after the storm, and all you have left is you. In the end, when you're in your room and you're thinking about your past relationships, who is there with you to deal with it? It's just you. Do you want to be the prisoner of your own thoughts and of your past? Right? So, Five of Swords. Oh, the King of Cups. Reflecting, right? He could be a really, really great person for you, but you're not allowing that to happen because you're ruminating on how he should be treating you differently from that person who you were with in the past. The Six of Pentacles. I'm also getting like you're being divided between you're divided by the you're divided and you're split between the advice that you're being given from your close friends. You'll have some people who are saying, yeah, go with him. And you have some people who are saying, no, I don't think you should go with him. So what actually is it that you want? It all comes down to what you want. And you also have to be afraid of failing. Be afraid of failing. I mean, not be afraid of failing. You are afraid of failing, but don't. Well, I guess in a way, don't be afraid of it where it's going to paralyze you. It's okay to be afraid, but not to a point where it's going to paralyze you and prevent you from, seeing the best of the situation. The last one is Two of Cups, a union. Two of Cups, see? I do see that this could be a relationship that could be harmonious, but you have to allow it to happen. You have to allow it to happen. Don't be too controlling. The reason why you're being controlling about the situation too and how you want things to just work out perfectly the way you want it is because of how you've been hurt in the past and how you've experienced good things in the past. Right? Now, it's okay to think about how you felt good about good things in the past in those relationships. It's okay. It's very okay. But there's a difference between thinking about how those moments were good and versus trying to recreate it. Why do you want to recreate a dinner with someone who, for example, cheated on you? Why do you want to recreate that happy memory with someone who cheated on you? You don't. I don't think you would. But you know what you want. You know what you want. You also have to be open to new experiences of happiness so that this new relationship that you're trying to get into can happen organically. Allow him to be a person. Allow him to show you how he can love you, right? Think about the chocolate example. Do you want a box of chocolates, or do you want that fancy dinner and that weekend at a fancy spa, right? So allow things to happen organically is kind of the message that I'm getting from these cards. So without further ado, I will finish up this reading. This is the reading for pile number 4. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this resonated with you, and I will see you in the next video. Okay. All right. And the Six of Pentacles has been coming out a lot, so I'm kind of even getting like, in general, for many people, I don't know if anyone's gonna watch this later into the video, but there's a strong sense of Six of Pentacles energy, and so the overall energy that I'm getting too is being in tune with yourself. It's okay to not listen to others around you, because you're always going to have half of your friends who say stay, and then half of your friends that say leave, or half of your friends that say pursue, and then half of your friends say do not pursue. Okay. So this is the reading for pile number 5. Your oracle card reads, a win-win outcome is forecast. So in light of that Six of Pentacles energy, when you make decisions that will serve you from the standpoint of not being tied down to your past and not expecting anything to happen in the future, when it's from a place of neutrality, it's going to be a win-win situation. Full moon in Libra, fully charged. You're going to be fully charged, fully aware. It's going to be a moment where you're like, oh, why is this is so perfect right now. Like, this is just so perfect, and there's nothing that I can complain about. There's nothing I can complain about, and you're going with the flow. The Libra, right, is the constellation that it's the balance, right? It's the balance constellation, the zodiac. I'm also getting something where maybe a lot of justice, right? Kind of that saying, an eye for an eye. Maybe it could be a situation where you're exiting a very, very bad relationship, and you're going to come out of it, where it's going to work out for you. It's going to work out for you, and regardless of what decisions are going to make, it's going to work out for you. Okay, so win-win, justice. So I'm going to pull out cards. Oop, let's do that again. That's a lot of words. That's coming out. Alright, so first card is Two of Swords. A lot of swords energy. Power, Freya, and beginnings. Oh yeah, it is totally going to be in your favor. Whatever situation that you're in, whatever decisions that you're going to make, whether you choose to not speak about or whether you choose to speak about it, it's going to be a good outcome. I'm sensing a lot of very, very toxic energy in your last relationship. A lot of toxic energy, and you were wronged. I'm kind of even feeling like infidelity played a role in it. You were blinded, right? Not knowing which way to go. Your hands are tied. At one point, your hands are tied. It was hard for you to exit that relationship. And now that recent issues have come up, it's backing up your story. And you're being led to the power card came out. You have I'm getting even the sense of there's power in your silence, because I'm getting also the sense that this person that you're exiting this relationship with is making a lot of noise. They're making a lot of noise, and they're making a lot of noise. I'm kind of getting the sense that again, your hands are bound with this card showing this woman with her a blindfold on and 2 swords. She's had to defend herself on her own. And then once you overcome the situation, there's going to be a new beginning. Like, you're ready to be on that path with that new beginning. This whole situation is also going to change how you feel about other people as well. It's a huge lesson for you. You're going to come out of it having more compassion for others who were also in your situation. You're being divinely guided. There's nothing that you would need to do to prove your case, because everything is already there. I'm kind of even getting the feeling that you've gone to people about your situation and they turn a blind eye. But things are coming to the surface, whether that other person likes it or not. And you're also taking charge too. You're doing what you need to do. You're taking charge. So, power number 4, I feel like there is definitely a lot of divine support. While the other person is making a bunch of noise, you really just have to like stand back, just watch things unfold. Now, I'm also, it's not necessarily just something within a love. This could be even a work relationship, or a relationship with your family. Whatever the situation is, justice is being served. Okay, justice is being served. So, I also want to let you know that the universe has its way of making things happen. Making things happen that will benefit you without you doing anything. Just keep in mind to believe that what you are doing is to serve you. Okay. So, this is a very, very short reading for pile number 4, but it's also very, very straightforward. Things are working in your favor. And I don't think there's anything else that I can share from that, that I'm getting anyways. And so, I hope this resonated with you. And good luck on your journey, and good luck with the things that you are dealing with at the moment. Know that things will work out. And so, pile number 4, or this is pile number 5. Pile number 5, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, so we are on to the last card, or last deck, and this is for pile number 6. And your card is balance, spirituality, and practicality. Full moon in Pisces, intuition. So, in addition to the full moon being a fully charged moon, and the Pisces zodiac, the Pisces being a very intuitive sign, the message that I'm getting is that you are, when you're seeing that, you know, you're paying attention to your intuition, everything is just gonna be more clear. Everything, the message you're seeking, the guidance you're seeking, everything is just gonna be more clear. Balance, spirituality, and practicality. Again, having a balance between your logic and your spiritual journey. They're all coming together. You're also entering a time where, you know, you're never in your life have you received messages as clear as the things that you are receiving. You're receiving a lot of signs that are also showing you how to progress in your relationship, or how to pursue this new relationship. It could even be where you are, you were questioning yourself about this person, but somehow the signs are just all there. It's leading you to this. Okay. Alright, so, oops. 7 of Pentacles, yep. Ooh, fertility, King of Staves, and, 5 of Swords. Okay. Alright, so, pile number 6, the energy I am getting from you is that the first card that opened up is 7 of Pentacles, and as you can see, she's tending to her garden. You have everything that you need. You know that you can manifest what you want. You can reap what you sow. You can do it with ease. You know that if you want things to happen, it'll happen. Okay? And what I'm getting from the King of Staves, that, you know, what's the energy from the King of Staves? So he is either currently in your life or will be entering your life. Let's see. The Five of Swords. Five of Swords comes up at this tail end. Overcoming something and coming out of it. Overcoming something and coming out of it. Let's see. Five of Swords. Let's see what the Five of Swords says. All right. Okay. Okay, this makes sense. So, I think as I mentioned with the other readings too, that in addition to this energy, you're at a place where you're feeling very balanced, right? You have everything that you need. You reap what you sow, you can manifest it. But as you know, there's always a challenge around the corner, right? Five of Swords represents that challenge and that hump, that overcoming and winning, but also knowing that it is not the end, right? Just because you've overcome this huge challenge, that you're going to have other challenges to come. Some of the meanings connected to this too is self-protection, right? You're not ready to let your guard down yet. And the King of Staves, it could represent somebody, right? As I mentioned, this person is either in your life or they are entering your life. This King of Staves represents someone who is inspirational to you. Someone who's inspirational to you. Somebody who somebody who's going to be your equal in terms of your endeavors. Someone is going to come into your life and they're going to be able to balance you out. They're going to be just as innovative, and just the way that they think about things is going to be on your level. This person's going to be very supportive as well. They're going to be able to support you in your endeavors. But I'm also getting the energy from this is also, what was it that I mentioned? Self-protection. So don't be so easy to trust people just yet. Evaluate the situation, evaluate who he is. It's okay to go on a couple dates. It's okay to try and figure out if he is who he really is. This could also even represent not just a person, but your willingness to your willingness to move on, or your willingness to pursue that relationship, or maybe you're on the fence about someone, and you're being very, very protective with yourself. Again, that comes with the that comes with the practicality part of it. The practicality part of it is like, okay, yeah, this guy's new, but I still have to put him through the process of like dating, like check off the boxes and see if like he meets he meets my criteria. And you're someone who's not really picky, but you still have to have that list, right? Let's see about fertility. Now, fertility is very straightforward. You know, it's children. You're wanting to have children. You're maybe even at a point where you're like, okay, I'm done with my work, and I'm done with like trying to look for a job that's going to provide financial security, and now you're ready to start a family. And to start a family, you're still going to need to put these people who are going to come into your life through the screening process, and that's totally okay. It's in a way just to enable you to protect yourself, so because you don't want to be you don't want someone coming into your life that's going to sabotage what you have built for yourself, and that's completely fine. As I mentioned with other readings too, is try not to be tied down to how people have hurt you, and allowing things to happen organically. Again, a lot of abundance. Interesting. So this card also, some of the meanings connected to this card is a new relationship that celebrates your growth. Obviously fertility, right? Fertility, children. You're right where you want to be. Yeah. So this person who's going to come into your life is going to be someone who just inspires you too. Inspires you, is going to provide that balance spiritually and practically, right? It's going to be someone, I'm even sensing that it's going to be a fire sign. Yeah, a fire sign. Again, with Pentacles being an earth sign, you could be an earth sign. Okay. So yeah, I see a very good message in this hand or in this pile. Balance, spirituality, and practicality. You have abundance. You're okay and you're set with your job. Now it's all okay, I'm ready to have a family. Who could that be? Putting them through that screening process. Not necessarily a screening process that is based on how people have hurt you, right? Like creating a list that is based on, okay, this person hurt me then, what do I want now? I don't want them to hurt me in this way, right? But that screening process could just be, you know, everything positive about what you want in a person, and not necessarily like forcing this person to fit the bill, but allowing it to organically happen. Allowing it to organically happen. Don't be too defensive. It's okay to put them through the screening process, because we still, as we all know, we still need a filter, right? Because if we let just anybody into our life, who knows what that person could be, right? They could be nice to you for like the first few hours of your date, and then you come to realize like, oh, this person only wanted to date me because of this, right? Like you still have some dignity, you still have standards. It's not that you're just gonna go for anyone now, but as long as you know that person has, you know, what you have, this balance of spirituality and also logical thinking, common sense, practicality, right? A balanced level of practicality in approaching certain situations and problem solving. You basically just want someone who's kind and smart, so that they can help you navigate your challenges and vice versa. Somebody who is open too. Somebody who is also open, who is also caring, who is also warm, a warm spirit. It's also the fire energy I'm getting from this person too. In addition to the King of Staves, harnessing this card is also about harnessing the energy of the sun, whereas you could also be someone who is very much in tune to your moon energy as well. This person who's going to come into your life is going to be someone who gives off warm energy. Again, harnessing the sun of the energy of the sun, harnessing the energy of the sun, and just exuding warmth energy. Something that also came to mind was the ultraviolet flame. And if you don't know about it, definitely research it. The ultraviolet flame is connected to Starseed Collective as well as the angels. And so someone who's just, when you are in their presence, you just know they are pure-hearted. They don't want to hurt anyone. They don't have any kind of bad bone in their bodies. Even the way that they talk and they joke around, it's not malicious. They're able to joke around with people without resorting to vulgar language or vulgar attitudes. This person is just pure, right? Obviously, just because you see them as pure doesn't necessarily mean you have to hold them up to that pure feeling. Be open to the fact that yes, everyone has their demons, everyone has their shadows, but appreciating them, appreciating both aspects of them. That's what makes them such a balanced person. Being able to balance their spirituality, their light, as well as their dark, their ego. It doesn't necessarily mean that the ego is connected to practicality, but practicality as a more physical sense, right? They're able to be spiritual about things, but also logical about addressing things. Logical about certain situations, right? I can't think of an example, but that person who's going to come into your life is going to be that. Okay. That doesn't mean you shouldn't just go with the first person who fits what I am seeing. Obviously, put them through that screening process, because you have to learn it for yourself, like how to you have to learn for yourself what you want, right? What you want and that feeling, like how I feel. So how I feel and how I would describe the warmth of the sun could be different from how you feel and how you describe the warmth of the sun, right? If that makes sense. Everybody has their own way of gauging certain situations. We can all say warm, but my warm could be 100 degrees and your warm could be 60 degrees, right? Perfect example. So anyways, I'm going to stop rambling. Pile number 6, this seems like a really, really good reading for you. This is more so a message of affirmation and reassurance. You've done all the work to take care of yourself. You are fertile, you're abundant, you have ideas, you feel so much. This is the first time in a while where you feel comfortable in your skin and you're not willing to let that go, and now you're just being open and receptive to who's going to come into your life. But at the same time, it's okay to put them through the screening process. That's the practical part of you, right? So, pile number 6, this is your reading. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you in the next video.